Welcome to the latest Driven Chat video, this week featuring something rather impressive. This, an Aston Martin DBS Superleggera, but not just any Aston Martin DBS Superleggera, this one happens to be a film star. Fancy picking me up and taking me for a quick drive?
Absolutely, John.
Perfect. Hop in. There's quite a good relevance to this car and the fact that you've rescued me from the side of a dusty track. Obviously we didn't film that bit, but you can just use your imagination, that definitely happened. Because this is a car that has featured very recently in the most recent James Bond film, No Time to Die. And now you and your team at Bonhams have the luxury and honour of selling it, is that right?
That's right, yeah. At the Festival of Speed auction, Friday the 24th of June, at the back of the Duke's house is where our marquee will be, and this is one of nearly 80 cars that we're selling at Goodwood. The original, the first owner, was asked by the production company for the Bond film, so that was MGM and Eon, have this car loaned because Aston Martin didn't have one available for them for the film. So
I love that, because you'd automatically assume, wouldn't you, that the filmmakers would approach Aston Martin and go, hey, we're making this amazing film, can we use one of your cars? They'd say, yeah, of course, go for it. But that wasn't the case at all.
You're absolutely right. They're normally on the build sheet as a Bond movie. I mean, that certainly was the case of the Mercury Cougar that we sold that was on the Majesty's Secret Service. On the Marty report, on the original build sheet for that car, it says Bond movie, and of course four were used and ordered specifically for the film. This obviously was very much the other way around. And in fact, the owner didn't see the car for 2 years. The film, as we all know, was postponed and postponed, so they kept it for nearly 2 years. It came back with 750, 800 miles on the clock, having gone there with nothing practically. So the current owner's only done 30 miles in it, 30, 40 miles in it. I think I'm probably going to be doing the same sort of number of miles in the car during our chat.
Because again, you'd always assume, or certainly I would, you'd assume that whenever you're making a film with a car that features in the film, there'd be about 6 of them, because you'd have one for stunts, and in case one went wrong, and then for all these other activations and PR exercises afterwards, you'd have again a fleet of them. But this is the one and only car, the one that featured in the film, and also the one that's then gone on to do all that lovely promo
work.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We've also, there is another Bond car in Goodwood, which is one of the Spectre Land Rovers, and you talk about numbers.
Yeah.
I think there were 10 used for the filming. Obviously, they had a little bit more action. I think the action that this car had was filmed at a secret air base, which actually turned out to be RAF Bryce Norton.
Right.
I think that was around October 2019, and it was up there for that scene for 3 days.
Who do you think the buyer will be? Do you think it's going to be somebody that is a Bond fan through and through, or do you think it's going to be somebody that will love the car for what it is, and the fact that it's featured in a film like No Time to Die is just a bit of an added extra?
I would have thought so. Goodwood a few years ago, I think it was 2018, we had one of the Spectre Land Rovers and the GoldenEye DB5, and they were both bought by the same client. Whether this might appeal to that gentleman again, who knows?
Do you tend to have a bit of a hit list, people that you phone when you know you've got something in particular like this, a specialty car,
absolutely.
A specialty field, you phone them and go, hello, we've got this, you might want to be aware.
Our sort of year, or average year, I'd say that myself and my team of specialists probably spend 90+% of our time consigning, finding cars for sale.
Yeah.
But obviously now the catalogue is finished, it's out, is now our time for making those, putting that thought process into good use, and we've got people in the office that help us identify the right people.
This car, the estimate is 400,000 to 500,000. Is that right?
Yeah.
And how do you come up with an estimate on a car that is a one of one, the only car that's featured in the Bond film? Do you use previous Bond cars or film cars to kind of get a gauge on them? Is there a a go-to percentage you add on when it comes to something that's featured in a film like this over the standard market value?
Well, looking at the cars that we've had very recently, which I've already mentioned, the factor of somewhere between 3 and 4 as a multiple has come into play. Obviously, the hook and the trigger is an estimate that is an attractive estimate that means it's there to be sold and is therefore appealing. I mean, for example, the Cougar, the Mercury Cougar convertible, that made all in about $350, I think.
Wow.
So it's $500,000, I think, at the time, and a really smart, restored, similar model in the States would have been about $100,000.
Wow.
So that made 5 times the price. The GoldenEye DB5 was, I think, 1.7, 1.8 pounds, and at the time in 2018 a smart silver birch DB5 would have been around the £600,000-700,000 mark, so that was times 3.
Yeah, I think at the time we're filming this, I think the catalogue has just gone live, hasn't it? Do you know if you've got anyone that's already expressed an interest?
We have, yes. We had the car on display at the Aston Martin Owners Club Spring Concours last weekend, over the Jubilee weekend, and there were a couple of people that they're telling us that they're going to have a go.
How exciting! Well, we will be there, and if for anyone that's attending the Goodwood Festival of Speed, you'll be able to see the car as well. You can now see the details of this car, including all of the lot details, in the description below. There's a little link there that will take you through to the dedicated Bonhams webpage for the Goodwood Festival of Speed auction. You'll be able to see all of our pictures, and the pictures from Bonhams as well will be there. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you there, Tim. And I don't know, should I wear a tux or something? Should I dress up for the occasion if it's going to go through?
It's usually very warm at Goodwood in June.
True.
Yeah, either that or those Speedos that Daniel Craig made famous in his opening scene.
I think that would be far too traumatic for everyone involved. But yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much for taking the time to take me for a spin in this lovely car.
That's all right.
And yeah, I'm genuinely really excited to see what it goes for and see what the interest is, and perhaps we'll catch up again at the Festival of Speed and once the auction's gone through and have a bit of a recap, see how it did.
More than welcome. Thank you, John.
Thank you.